for the early reappearance of our 12th Imam, Imam Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman. Louder salawat. أعوذ بالله من اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام وتحية والإكرام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا ومولانا مولى ثقلين جد الحسن والحسين الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأراضين بأبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المظلومين المعصومين المكرمين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا ولعنة الله على أعدائهم ومنكري فضائلهم وغاصبي حقوقهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم كتابه وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين ينفقون في السراء والضراء والكاظمين الغيظ والعافين عن الناس والله يحب المحسنين. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. Respected brothers and respected sisters, from the last two nights, and this is the third night, we are discussing the topic of Islamic lifestyle. How should be an Islamic community, an Islamic family, an Islamic society? There are certain requirements for a noble Islamic family. When the society and the community is made from families, if the family is honorable, noble, respectful, it will have effect on the community. Community and society will also be noble and honorable. So, what are the characteristics of a noble and honorable family or community or society? We are trying to take help from the Holy Quran, and most of our discussion is from the Holy Quran. Sometimes we also narrate the ahadith, the traditions, riwayat from the Ma'sumin alayhimus salam, and some of the examples from the lives of our great scholars and our leaders. The Holy Quran in chapter 3, Surah Ali Imran, verses 134 and 135, mention some of the qualities of a noble person or the people of Jannah or muttaqeen. So when we talk about muttaqeen, the pious people, and what we mean from muttaqeen is that if in a society, in a community, family, there are muttaqeen, so that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. This is what the Imam of our time wants from us to be, how to be a good person, how to form our society. So here, in these two verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning 5 qualities, characteristics of muttaqeen. So if we have to look towards ourselves and see how many of these qualities we have, and if not, what to do to have it. And once we have, then alhamdulillah, we should be grateful and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and try to increase it, try to elevate it, and try to make it better than this. In these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first, He says that وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. Compete. Sari'u means compete. Run fast. compete, run towards maghfirah, forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And wal Jannah, also compete towards Jannah. Try to go into paradise. Don't sell yourself less than the paradise. Paradise should be the price, the value of a person, of a mu'min. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, compete towards maghfirat of your Rabb or your Lord, and compete towards going to Jannah. That Jannah, u'iddat lil muttaqeen, which is prepared for pious people. See the beauty of these verses of the Holy Quran. In one place, the Holy Quran says, Uzlifatul Jannah lil muttaqeen. We have decorated. Uzlifat means decoration. We have decorated Jannah, paradise, for the pious. Here Quran says, U'iddat lil muttaqeen, that Jannah which is prepared for muttaqeen. Who are these muttaqeen? What are their qualities? The first quality is alladhina yunfikuna fis sarai wal dharra. Those who spend in the name of Allah, in the path of Allah, in the way of Allah, at ease and in difficulties. Whether they are at ease or they are in difficulties, in both these situations, they do infaq fi sabilillah, in the way of Allah, in the path of Allah. This is the first quality. Second quality, wal kazimin al ghayz, they restrain their anger, they control their anger. Third, wal afina anin nas, they forgive people, forgive men. They have the quality of forgiveness. Number 4, wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. Allah loves those who are good doers. Allah loves muhsinin, the one who does ihsan, who does good. So the fourth quality is that these people for whom the Jannah, paradise, is prepared are those who does ihsan, who are the doers of good, the doers of khair. And then the fifth quality is also mentioned, allazina iza fa'alu fahisha, those who commit an indecency or a shameful act. Those who commit an indecency, allazina fa'alu fahisha, the shameful act, if they perform a shameful act, aw zalamu anfusahum, or they are injustice toward themselves, toward their souls. What they do? Zakarullah, they remember Allah. And another thing which they do is fastaghfiru lizunubihim, they ask forgiveness from Allah about what they have done, about the sins which they have committed. They ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgiveness from their sins. And then at the end of the verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions what are the rewards for the people who have these qualities. The reward is maghfiratum min rabbihim. Allah's forgiveness is the first reward. Second, wal jannah. Another reward is that they will be entered into paradise. Which paradise? The paradise allati tahtahumul anhar, where streams flows beside the Jannah. That Jannah where there are streams, there is water. And the third reward is khalidina fiha. They are there in this paradise forever. The life is eternal. Eternity is there. Don't think that they will be in paradise for a short period or for 5 years term, 10 years, 20 years. No. Forever. Khalidina fiha. They will be there forever in this paradise. This life is eternal life. Da'imi. Forever. Now these are the 5 qualities which are mentioned in the Holy Quran, and we have to see, I will give you brief explanation, not in detail, just wherever it is necessary, that how can we have these qualities and what to do to have these 5 qualities in order to have an Islamic style of life. The life, the world, and to live in this world which Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam expects from us. This is our goal. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Respected brothers and sisters, the first quality which is pending in the name of Allah is called al-infaq fi sabilillah. This is very important quality. Everyone should have to spend something in the way of Allah, especially those things which they love most. As the Holy Quran says, La yanalul, no one will attain the righteous position. No one can attain the height of righteousness unless and until he gives in the way of Allah the thing which he loves most. If I love something more, I have to do infaq in that thing. I have to spend that in the way of Allah. Otherwise, I cannot attain birr, I cannot attain righteousness. لا ينال البر حتى تنفقوا مما تحبون. You cannot attain the highest form of righteousness, birr, unless and until you do infaq, you spend in the name of Allah, in the way of Allah, the thing which you love most. So most of us love money, and we do everything in order to have money, because money is something which is good. If you use the money in proper sense, in the proper way, then it is something which is very good. So if we love money and we spend that money in the way of Allah, this is the height of righteousness. This is called birr. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants to see, He wants from us. Otherwise, when Allah says give zakat, this zakat doesn't reach Him. When He says give khums, the khums doesn't reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says go for Hajj. And when you go for Hajj, you sacrifice as an animal for me. So neither the blood of the animal reaches Allah, neither the meat, the flesh of the animal goes to Allah. But Allah wants this from us in order to have taqwa. In order to become muttaqi, in order to become pious, He orders us, when you go for Hajj, sacrifice an animal. When you are in ease or you are in a difficult situation, in both situations, do infaq. Spend in the name of Allah. Sometimes I read in the emails which I receive from the African Federation. They send emails about the history of the community, the Khoja community. And I try to read all of them, and because I learn many things from them. And these are from the archive, the files which are with them in the archive. They send that to the people so that they should know how this community developed and from where it came. So some of the people in the late 80s and in the early 90s, they came from India. Some came from Bombay, some came from Gujarat, even some came from Calcutta, on ships to Africa. When they came to Africa, what they did, they started a business. Most of them, I'm talking about 90% of the people. They had some links here. They came here and they went to that person whom they knew from India. They will start business with them. Most of them, all of them, they will open a shop in the villages. I'm talking about early 90s, when there were no vehicles or very few vehicles, they would travel on their feet, and sometimes they will travel on the animals from one city to another city. The cities were also not developed. Africa in 90s, early 90s. Sometimes they will use human beings to carry them from one place to another place. But they will try to open a shop, and when the shop is open, 5 families are gathered. The first thing they will do is they will open a mosque. Beside mosque, beside Hussainiya Madrasa. In almost all the emails which I received from the archive, I found out that this was how they started developing. 5 families, 10 families. One is the president of Jamaat, one is Mukhi, another is doing the other responsibilities, and it continued even today. The thing that they started these things in late 80s and early 90s, and it is continued even today. The foremost reason, the one most important reason is infaq fi sabilillah. They knew that if we will not do infaq, if we will not spend in the name of Allah, we will not flourish. Our children will not learn about Islam. They will not learn about their religion, their etiquettes, their akhlaq, unless and until we spend on them, we spend on our community, on our jama'ah. And we do ta'aleem wa tarbiyah, education and training both. And this is one of the reasons of the success of this community, that they were doing and they are doing infaq fi sabilillah. Quran says, as-sara wa-dhara. When a person is in ease, he has many things and he spends something in the way of Allah, that is easy. Most of the people, they say, we don't do infaq, we cannot spend in the name of Allah, in His cause, in His path, in Hussainiya, in the masjid, because we don't have. Quran says no. This excuse is not correct. If you don't have, then if you have little, so you spend little. You have more, you spend more. If I say I'm a poor, I'm needy, but I can do infaq on a very small scale. But the quality of infaq should be there. Don't look at it that, oh, I am poor, I cannot spend in the name of Allah. If you are poor, you spend according to your budget, what your pocket allows you. Another person has a big budget, he is wealthy, he will do infaq according to his budget. This is what Allah wants from us, and this is the quality in a community, in a society, in a family, to do infaq fi sabilillah. And this is what we learn from our Ahlul Bayt, the role models for all of us, the real role models, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the 14 infallibles. Quran says, وَيُطْعِمُونَ تَعَامْ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. There are people who spend in the name of Allah and they give it to yatim, to the orphan, to the captive, to the needy. And then what they say? إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. We are giving you this amount of food, money, whatever it is, لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ, for the pleasure of Allah, for Allah only, not to show to the people, not for riyah, but لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. And we don't need any reward from you. Our reward is with Allah, Allah will reward us. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And when such type of examples are there, and we say that we are the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they did infaq when they were in need. Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, you know about the story. They were fasting and there was nothing in the house. And when the time of iftar comes, there is only simple bread. And when the time of iftar comes, when the needy comes, they give the only bread to them. This is called al-infaq. This is the best way of infaq. The commander of faithful is praying in the mosque, and a needy, a poor person enters and he says, I am needy, can someone give me something? No answer. He said this again, no answer. Third time, Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam was in his ruku and he was praying. He points his finger towards the needy, towards the faqir, and tells him by ishara, by sign, that take this. The beggar comes, he takes the rings from the hand of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and he goes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes this quality, to pay to a beggar, to pay to a needy and poor while you are in ruku, when you are in prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed verse in the Holy Quran in praise of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam for this infaq fi sabilillah. Later on, some people try to do in the same way, but no verse was revealed. Why? Because for revelation of the verses, the condition is that there should be ikhlas and sincerity. You do something with sincerity, Allah will make it public. He will reward you and He will show the other people also. But if someone is doing it for the people, then there is no reward for that. So the first quality is to spend in His way. Second, وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ, those who restrain from anger, those who control their anger. Most of the problems in the society, most of the problems in the family is because of this vice which is called anger. Ghazab. This is something, if it is not in control, it destroys people, it destroys families. If you see the reason for divorce in our societies, the biggest reason, one of the biggest reasons, there might be other reasons, I'm not saying this is the only reason, there are many reasons, but one of the reason is that we cannot control our anger. That's why according to fiqh, Islamic jurisprudence, if someone gives divorce to the wife when he is angry, that is not counted, that is not considered. I'm talking about fiqh of Ahlul Bayt, I'm not talking about fiqh of others. Others' fiqh is different, and I still don't understand. I try to understand what is the logic behind their fiqh. I don't get it unless when I read the fiqh of the sixth Imam, I get an answer for it. I do comparison of the fiqh of Imam alayhi salam with the fiqh of other A'imma. A'imma means the worldly A'imma, not those which were divine Imams. I don't understand that in some of the cases there is no logic behind it. But when it comes to the fiqh of Ahlul Bayt, alhamdulillah, everything is with logic. The fiqh of Ahlul Bayt says if someone divorces the wife when he is angry, that is not counted. This divorce is not correct. Why? Because this, to control anger is very important. It destroys many things. It is the quality which every person must have. If those people who are short-tempered, who cannot control, they should try to do that. This is the first job to do. We people are busy in doing this and that. But if I know that this is something which, this quality or this vice which I have, that I cannot control my anger, I should leave everything and I should give first priority to control this. That's why in the riwayat it says that the person, when he is in wudu, in the state of ablution, it helps him to control his anger. Why? Because he thinks, I am in wudu, the state of tahara, I should not do that. And if a person is angry because of some reason, he is standing, in riwayat it says he should sit, relax. When you are standing, many things can happen. A person who is angry is like a toy in the hands of Satan. He can play with you. Satan can play with a person who is angry. You are a toy in his hand. He can play with you. He can throw you anywhere, everywhere. That's why a person, if he is angry, he is standing, he should sit. If he is sitting and he is angry, he should sleep. That is, he should take rest and start thinking that what I am doing, I can harm someone. I can harm someone with the words. I can harm someone spirituality, not only with the hand, but with the words. To harm someone with words is more dangerous than the one which is caused by the hand. Once I remember I went for Hajj and I saw people fighting with each other in ihram. They were wearing ihram. Like when you go to Arafat, you have to go there in ihram. And from Arafat you go to Mina, you are still in ihram. You are muhrim. Muhrim is a person on whom there are around 24, 25 things which are haram for him. And one of them is anger. La jidala, la rafsa, wa la jidala, wa la fasuka fil hajj. As Quran says, jidal, to say, oh, you are wrong, this is, I'm right. To fight, to argue, argument, disputes is not allowed when a person is in ihram. When he is for hajj, he should refrain from it. But unfortunately, some people who have not done the practice and proper training, they will fight for a small thing. What is small thing? Like a banana. Oh, you took my banana. Oh, you took my bread. Is this the thing for which I should fight while I am in Hajj and I am wearing ihram? I saw a Haji. He was very angry. And he was so angry that he was giving even bad words. So I told him, Haji Sahab, control yourself. You are in ihram. Control your mouth, control your tongue. What you are saying, maybe you will have to pay kafara then. Allah will say, when you finish Hajj, you have to sacrifice a goat for what you are doing while you are in ihram. He said, I am ready to sacrifice 100 goats, but I am not going to leave him. 100 goats he is ready to sacrifice, but he cannot control his anger. So this is very important quality for a society, for a community, that everyone should restrain from anger. Wal ka'azimin al-ghayz. They should control their anger. The third quality, wal afina anin nas, forgiveness. If I see someone has done wrong to me, I should forgive him. Allah loves those who forgive. Allah likes this quality of forgiveness, although it is not easy. Some people, what they do, I know, they will write the mistakes of other friend, the other mu'min, that one day when I get a chance, I will tell him, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. Why? Because they cannot remember all of them at one time, so they make notes. This is something which is not the quality of a mu'min. Mu'min should, a muttaqi, a pious person, a believer, should not make notes about his friend, about his brother. He should have forgiveness. Someone asked Imam alayhi salam that, what is the limit of forgiveness? Is there any limit for it? Imam alayhi salam says, the limit of forgiveness is the same which you expect from Allah to forgive you. What is your limit, your expectation from Allah? What you want from Allah? How much should He forgive you? So if someone asks me, I will say, I expect from Allah that He forgives me 100%. Whatever I have done, I ask Allah that He forgives. Same is the limit for another Muslim brother. If you expect that Allah should forgive you everything with what you have done, why don't you forgive everything which your Muslim brother has done? In one of the battles, you have heard this, just for the children and for the youth, Amirul Mu'mineen, he came over on his enemy, and he sat on his chest. He was enemy of Allah, and Amirul Mu'mineen was fighting with him for Allah, for the pleasure of Allah. Amirul Mu'mineen takes his sword in order to kill the enemy of Allah. That enemy of Allah, he spits on the sacred face of Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. He left him. He left him and he went aside. That person was astonished. He said, "Oh Ali, you are killing me and you overcome me and you are sitting on my chest, and all of a sudden you left me." He said, "Yes, because you spitted on my face. I was killing you for Allah. When you did this to me, my personal anger came in it, and Ali doesn't want to kill anyone for his personality, for his personal anger. Ali only kills the enemies of Allah for the pleasure of Allah, not for his own personal desires." This is something which is very important for a community. Number 4, ihsan, wallahu yuhibbul muhsinin. Allah loves those who do good. In my personal opinion, I should try to do at least one ihsan, one good on the daily basis. Try. If I have tawfiq of Allah, I will do that. Otherwise, I should ask Allah to give me tawfiq to at least do one good in 24 hours. Now what is good? What is ihsan? Ihsan doesn't mean that I should give some money to another person, to the needy and the poor. This is also a kind of ihsan. But ihsan, the circle of ihsan is very wide. Quran, Surah Yasin, Hal jaza'ul ihsan illa al-ihsan. Jaza, that is the reward of ihsan, is only ihsan. When someone does good to you, you should also try to do good towards him. On the daily basis, if you do one good deed, and then it will accumulate, and at the end of the month, at the end of the year, alhamdulillah, you know how much ihsan you have done. And when it comes to sadaqah jariyah, that is the best form of ihsan. Do something, the reward of that deed is continued, is continuous, and it is always there. It is called jariyah, sadaqatun jariyah, the charity which is a continued charity. If I do that, as far as that ihsan is there and the people are taking advantage from that, my book of deeds will always be open, and the malaika will write good deeds in my book. If I do sadaqah jariyah, I built a mosque. The people, they come and they pray in the mosque. The best thing is to build a mosque. As far as the mosque is open, as far as the people are coming, they are praying, they are doing other ibadat, and you are the one who has provided this facility to the other people. The book, the Namai Amal, the book of the deed, is open, and Malaika is writing good deeds on your behalf even after your death. 100 years passed, 1,000 years passed, but Sadaqah Jariyah is there, and this is the best form of ihsan. And the 5th one, Allazina iza fa'alu fahisha, those who commit an indecent act, shameful act, fahisha, fahish, fuhush, aw zalamu anfusahum, or they do injustice to themselves. Fahisha is the indecent acts which everyone knows. If I'm not allowed to look at something and I'm looking at that thing, this is fahisha. I'm not allowed to look at na mahram. I'm not allowed to go to the acts which are fahish, which are indecent. But if a human being does that, it doesn't mean that he should become despair. And it is called kunut in Arabic. Kunut is the dua also, and kunut also means to become disappointed from the mercy of Allah. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Quran says, don't become despair, don't become disappointed from the mercy of Allah. This is from a major sins too. If I say, oh, Allah's mercy will not reach me, why? Because I did many things which are wrong. Allah will not forgive me. This is something which is not good, which is not correct, which is against the laws of Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't become despair from the mercy of Allah. Allah's mercy is there, always there. And He says, I forgive all the sins. All the sins. In Allah yaghfiru dhunub jami'a. This is a person, the fifth one, a person who commits a shameful act, or he does zulm towards anfusihim, towards himself. For example, a person was praying namaz, all of a sudden he stopped praying namaz. He said, no, I don't want to pray namaz anymore. I call it, this is zulm ala anfusihim, is injustice to himself. Why? He was doing something good, all of a sudden he stopped it. This is zulm ala anfusihim. The fifth one, whoever does this, this is for a society. This is something we are discussing, is social issues. It's very common in our society. Whoever commits an indecent act, or a person who does zulm on himself, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Zakarullah, he remember Allah, fastaghfiru li zunubihim, and he asks Allah, he does istighfar, ask Allah forgiveness for what he did. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive him. But if he insists, he does something wrong, but he insists that no, this is right, and I will do it. Or he knows that it is wrong, but he says, I don't care, I will do it again and again. So this is called a rebellion person. Baghi, taghi, taghut, transgressor, the person who is crossing his limits. Now for him, there is a painful punishment. But if he says, Astaghfirullah, I did something wrong, oh Allah forgive me, I will not do it again, I will not repeat it again, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive him. But there are many people who insist to do the same thing again and again. They do not perform the istighfar, the real form of istighfar, which is to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the niyat that I will not do this again. And those who have these five qualities, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, they will have maghfirah from their Lord, they will have Jannah, and in Jannah they will be living forever. Now one thing which I want to mention about Jannah and about Jahannam is that the life there is eternal. So in one place in the Holy Quran, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the importance of namaz, we can understand from the verses of the Quran that at some point the people of hell, they will look and they will see the people of paradise. And also at some places the people of paradise will be able to look at the people of hell. Ashabul nar, Ashabul Jannah. In order to those people who are in hell, they should see that those people who are in paradise, look how good is their life. And they will remember, oh, if we were not disobedient to Allah, we would also be in paradise. And those people who are in paradise, they will be shown, the people of hell, that look, you are here because of your good deeds. If your good deeds were not there, your place was there in the hell. So in some place, as the verses of Quran suggest, that they will be able to talk with each other. Now they know that the life is forever. Hell is there forever. Jannat is there forever, and life is also eternal. So they will ask people of paradise, they will ask people of hell. Sometimes the people of hell will ask the people of paradise. So one question which is in the Holy Quran, that what brought you here in hell? What was the reason? They will say, we were not from among those who established prayers. Lam nako minal musallin. We were not from those people who were the people of prayers. We were not praying. We were not regular in our prayers. So this is one of the reasons that the people will be in hell, because they will not pray. And not only that, the tradition says that those who take and consider prayer, belittle prayer and consider it as something low, something ordinary, for them also there is painful punishment. So it says that one of the person, he saw a dream, and he saw that the day of judgment is there. So the malaika came and they are dragging him towards hell, towards the hellfire. He says, why are you taking me towards hell? He says, well, you can look at your book of deeds. He said, but I used to go for Hajj. He said, no, we know you went for Hajj. But that was not for Allah, that was for showing off to the people. Okay, what about my song? Every year in the month of Ramadan, I was fasting. He says, yes, you were fasting because of habit, and also because of showing off to the people. You are ashamed that if you will not fast, what the people will think about you. This was also not fi sabilillah, not for liwajhillah. Okay, but I gave zakat too. What is the reward of zakat? The answer will be given, no, your zakat is also not accepted. What about my khums? They are dragging him, and he is reminding malaika, although we don't need to remind malaika, they know everything. But we came from the world, in the world we need to remind each other by saying Khuda ki qasam, by Allah, by swearing. There we don't need to do that. They have everything. Every record is there. By the time they were dragging him and he reached to that well of fire where they were going to throw him, and they threw him. And when he was going towards that well, he said, what about salah, my salah, namaz. And at that time, he saw a hand came, and he was falling. He catches him and takes him out of the hell, that well of hell. He says, Alhamdulillah, Khuda ka shukr. But who are you? He says, I am Salah. You called me. You were saying Salah, you were saying Namaz. I am the reward of your Namaz. Yeah, you are reward of my Namaz. You rescue me, but why you came late? If you were late for another 1 minute, I would have gone down into the hell. He says, I came late because you also used to pray Salah late. Not on time. If you were praying Salah on time, I will come on time. You always pray late. I also came late. So this shows how important is Salah at time. This is for the children. Allama Tabatabai is a famous personality of our time. Sahib Tafsir al-Mizan, the one who wrote that beautiful tafsir. No one can write tafsir like al-Mizan, which he wrote, 20 volumes in Arabic. Beautiful tafsir. Allama Sayyid Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai died in 1980. Someone asked him, a youth wrote a letter to him. He says, Allama, I don't have time. I have many questions. But just give me a short answer and a short formula and a short solution that how should I save myself? How should I lead a successful life? How should I be a good person? Don't give me details because I have no time. Don't give me the answer of those ulama, okay, recite Surah Waqiah every night. or recite Jarat Ashura for 40 nights. No, I don't have time for those things. Give me short solution. He says, okay, if you want short solution, number 1, recite namaz at awal time. Number 2, recite Suratul Hashr, chapter number 59, Suratul Hashr, with reflection, with pondering, with thinking, and this is the solution for all your problems. Salah at awal time and Suratul Hashr. When I opened Suratul Hashr, I found out that in this surah, when I was reading the translation, I found out that in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning about the 7 skies and how a person should be, what is the importance of the Quran, and how a person should attach himself with the Holy Quran, and about the throne of Allah, about the supremacy of Allah, about His cosmos, about His universe. If a person ponder on these ayat, it's not that lengthy surah, it's a short surah. If a person recites that's why in tafsir, in the beginning, on the top of, when the tafsir of the surah starts, it says, whoever recites Surah Hashr and he dies on the same night, or he dies the next day, he will be counted as a shaheed, as a martyr, with the condition that he recites it with reflections, with his pondering, and also thinking about what is the message in Suratul Hashr. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As this is Ashra Zainabiyya, and I told my respected brothers and sisters in the first majlis that this is in the honor of Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha and Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Tonight I want to recite something about Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, and tomorrow about Sayyidah Zainab Salamullah alayha, and then we will go to the day of Arba'een, where we will discuss about the importance of the day of Arba'een. But for tonight, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, this Ashra is the honor of Imam, in the honor of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. But I am not reciting Masaib now. It will take another few minutes when I reach to the last part, the Gham part of Masaib. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, he was the best example. If someone says these 5 qualities, can you give us one example? I will say yes. There are many examples, but one of the best example of these qualities is Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. He is sitting at his dining table, and the slave girl, the servant, she brought a soup for Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. When she was giving it to Imam Zainul Abidin, at that time what happened? The soup, she dropped the soup on the clothes of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. So imagine, you are sitting on the dining table, you are eating food, someone drops the food on you, on your body and on your clothes. What will be your reaction? So anger is there for sure, and those people who are short temper, they will use their hand, they will harm the person. But Imam alayhi salam, the color of his face, a little bit the color changed. So the slave girl, she became scared, frightened. Imam has not said anything, but when she saw that she has committed a mistake, immediately she recited this verse of the Holy Quran, Wal Kazimin al Ghaiz. Those people who restrain their anger, who control their anger, are the people who are called muttaqeen, and for them is Jannah. Imam alayhi salam looked towards her and said, I control my anger. I restrain myself from anger. She recited the second part, Wal afina anin nas. Not only they control anger, but they pardon, they forgive people. Imam said, I forgive your mistake, I pardon you. Then she recited the third part, Wallahu yuhibbul muhsineen. Not only they pardon, but Allah loves those who do ihsan. He said, okay, I'm doing ihsan to you. You are free in the way of Allah. Go, you are free. And you are no more my slave. You are no more my servant. This is the best example of these qualities in the form of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. I would like to answer one misconception, and then my majlis is finished for tonight. The topic is continued for tomorrow. And after answering this misconception, the last part, which is the gham part, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, and then iltimas dua. Misconception: why Islam did not abolish slavery? This is a very common question. Wherever I go in different communities, I find this question. Why Islam did not finish slavery? Youth, children, they ask this question. As we are talking about Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, how he was good towards the slaves. Answer: well, Islam abolished slavery. If you are well versed with Islam, if you have taken Islam from Google or from Fox News or from other sources which are not correct, then this question comes that yes, why Islam did not fought with slavery. But if you know the real Islam, the correct Islam, the Islam which is in Hausa, the Islam which is with our maraj, with our jurists, not from Zakirin, not from those who love to recite majalises. Yes, it is good thing to recite majlis. Everyone loves that. But when it comes to responsibility, then the responsibility lies on the neck of the reciter, that what he is reciting, he knows what he is reciting, he has checked this in the sources, the authentic sources, or no, he is just reciting from his own wish. I wish it would have happened. I wish Islam would have done this. I wish the fiqh should have this kind of hukum. No, wish is something else. My wish. Islam is not for wishes. Islam is a rational religion. Islam is a religion from heavens, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from Ma'sumeen. They are the one who is teaching us how Islam is. If you have the real knowledge of the authentic and real Islam, you will find that yes, Islam always fought with slavery. Islam never says, never encourages the followers, the Muslims, to have slaves. Instead, Islam has encouraged the Muslims and the followers of the religion to abandon it, to finish it. And if you know about Islam, you will find that how the great personalities were good towards their slaves. Slaves at that time, just an example, if a person has a company here nowadays, he has a company, he has hired people. So if he has a company, there are 10 people working in that company, and he is giving them salary, so he is helping them. Same was the case at that time. The real people, not about those who were zalimeen, they were not good towards their slaves. But Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, what he would do, he would collect, he had slaves, he would brought all the slaves, they will eat together on the same dining table, and he will train the slaves. He will say to the slaves, come and recite Quran here. All the slaves in the house of Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam were praying namaz at our time, were the reciters of the Quran, were well versed in Islam. They would go outside and teach the people about Islam. In Karbala, in the event of Karbala, there were many slaves. Some of them were old. Imam Hussain told them, go, you are free. You are no more. You are no more. They said, no, we will not leave you. Why? Because they saw the treatment of a good Muslim towards the slaves. Once, Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wasalam, sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam alayhi salam saw a black slave, who had one bread, a loaf of bread, and there was a dog sitting near him. That black slave is eating one bite himself, and other bite he was throwing towards the dog. Now Imam Hussain is watching, he is looking at that. When he finished that, Imam Hussain came to him and said, "Who are you?" He says, "My name is this and this, and I am the slave of a Jewish person." He says, "Yes, I was watching you. You had only one loaf of bread, and I know, you are a poor person, and you are needy too. And you yourself need to eat that bread because you are hungry. Why you fed half of your bread to a dog, an animal?" He says, "Because I know this is Medina, and in Medina there are no dogs. So this dog has came outside of Medina. The dog came from outskirts of Medina to eat food. In Medina I know there are no dogs. This dog came from outside, so I thought that he came here to eat food, so I should share my food with him." Imam alayhi salam liked this answer so much that he went straight to the house of that Jewish family. He knocked the door. The women came out. "Yes, what do you want?" He says, "I am Hussein." He said, "Which Hussein?" "Hussein ibn Ali." "Hussein ibn Ali? Hussein, the son of Fatima, the daughter of the Holy Prophet?" Hussein alayhi salam said, "Yes." "What brought you here?" Now the husband is now also listening the conversation from inside the house. When he heard the name of Hussein ibn Ali, Hussein ibn Fatima alayhi salam, he also came out and said, "Oh, my wife with whom you are talking?" The wife started crying, say, "Look who came to our door. Who is at our door? The son of the Holy Prophet, the son of the daughter of the Holy Prophet. What brought you here, Ya Aba Abdullah?" He said, "I want to buy the slave." Why you buy him?" "Oh, he is a good person. I want to buy him and then I want to free him. I want to buy him and I want to free him." They started crying, saying, "You are buying a slave because he fed a dog." So Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, they were trying to free the slaves. This is what Islam is about, slavery. It says Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam freed around 1,000 slaves from the ahkam of Sawm. If a person does iftar amad, that is, he does iftar intentionally, what is the kafara? The first kafara is to free a slave. Same is the case with other things. So why should be the kafara of intentional breaking of fast, of freeing a slave? Because Islam wants that the slavery should be abolished. And when the Holy Prophet came from Medina to Mecca, and Mecca was conquered, he even announced, and it says, "Izhabu antumut tulaqa." Go away, all of you are free. Even that slave who killed Hamza, the uncle of the Holy Prophet, which was very near to the Holy Prophet. It was very hard time for the Holy Prophet when he saw his uncle Hamza was killed and his body was mutilated. It was very hard for him. He forgave that slave called Wahshi, who killed the uncle of the Holy Prophet. So this is a misconception, saying, "Oh, Islam did nothing for finishing slavery." Yeah, the black Muslims or the black people who are in United States in America, they were brought from Africa as a slave and they were treated as a slave. Islam has not, these are something which are not the teachings of Islam. Islam says if you have slave, he is a human being. You should help him and he should be near you. He is a human being. The slave of Habsha, Bilal Habashi, was made Muazzin Rasul. There were many Arabs There were many people from the great tribes from Quraysh. The Holy Prophet said, no, my muazzin, the person who will call the people for salat, will be this black slave from Ethiopia. Some people say his pronunciation is not good. Instead of saying ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah, he says ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah. He cannot pronounce sheen properly. His sheen is not proper, pronunciation is not proper. The Holy Prophet says, no, his sheen is better than your sheen. I know he cannot pronounce sheen properly, but because of his taqwa, because of his beautiful heart, his sheen is better than your sheen. And what status Bilal has in Islam, although a slave from Ethiopia. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam was a personality who wept for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein for a very long time. Someone asked him, O son of the Holy Prophet, enough. This is enough. You cried a lot. Whenever the water was brought in front of Imam, he would start crying. And the water will be filled with his tears. The bucket of flour, the bucket of water will be stained with his tears. When the food would have brought, Imam alayhi salam will see the food and he will start crying. When Imam alayhi salam is outside in the streets of Medina, when he will see a butcher, he will ask him, "Oh butcher, what are you going to do with this animal?" The answer was, "We want to slaughter it, we want to sacrifice it, slaughter it." Imam alayhi salam would ask, "Have you given him water?" The butcher will say, "O son of the Holy Prophet, we are the followers of your grandfather. How can we sacrifice an animal without giving him water?" Imam alayhi salam will turn towards Karbala and say, "Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Animals are not slaughtered without water. But oh my father Hussein, you were slaughtered without water." मेरे बाबा तेरी मजलूमियत पर सलाम हो, जानवर भी बगैर पानी के ज़िबा नहीं होते, मगर ए अबा अब्दुल्ला आपको बगैर पानी के ज़िबा किया गया. Imam alayhi salam heard someone saying, "Ana gharib." Imam alayhi salam asked him, "Why you are saying you are gharib? You are gharib because you have no one who will bury you after you die?" He said, No, I have someone who will bury me after I die." You say you are gharib because you don't have food to eat? He said, No, this is not the case. You say you are gharib because you have no water to drink? He said, No, this is not the case. I am gharib because I am poor, I am needy. He says, then you are not gharib. Gharib is Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, who was killed when there was no one beside him. My father was killed when he was hungry. My father was killed when there was no water given to him. This Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, when he was asked, "Enough, O son of the Holy Prophet, you don't need to cry for such a long time." He says, "No, this is not correct. What you are saying is not correct. Yaqub has 12 sons. One son, Yusuf, vanished from his eyes. And Quran says he cried so much that his eyes turned white. I have sacrificed 18 Yusuf at Karbala. मैंने तो 18 यूसुफों की कुर्बानी दी है. Ajrukum alallah." A man came to Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam and he said, "O son of the Holy Prophet, my daughter is going to get married. If you can bless the ceremony, if you can come at my home." Imam alayhi salam said, "You know that after Karbala, we don't attend marriages." He says, "But if you can come, that will be an honor for me." Imam said, "I will come at one condition. Ek shart pe main aunga." What is that condition, O son of the Holy Prophet? The condition is that you must have a majlis of my father Hussein If majlis is there, I will come and attend the majlis. After the majlis, I will attend the marriage. He says, then it is perfect. First we will have majlis at my home. After majlis, there will be marriage ceremony. Now Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam came to the house of the person whose daughter was going to get married. And here when the Masa'ib part starts, the Khatib is reciting majlis. All the people are crying. He's reciting Masa'ib of Karbala. When he started reciting Masa'ib of Karbala, all the people are crying. And when the Masa'ib part finished, now the person is looking for Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam. Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam is not at his place. He is looking here and there, but he cannot find Imam alayhi salam. All of a sudden he saw Imam was sitting near the door, the place where the people put their shoes. Imam alayhi salam was sitting there and he was crying for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وَسَيَعْلَمُ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا آلَ مُحَمَّدٍ أَيَّ مُنْقَلِبٍ يَنْقَلِبُونَ لَا حَوْلَ وَلَا قُوَّةَ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ الْعَلِيِّ الْعَظِيمِ. All those who are ill, especially those who have requested me and all mu'mineen for iltimas dua, let's recite 5 times Amma Yujib. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ. O Allah, for the sake of these ayat karima, all mu'mineen and mu'minat who are ill, suffering from problems, ailments, O Allah, give them shafa al-kamila wal-ajila, give them quick recovery, remove the ailments and problems from themselves, from all the mu'mineen and mu'minat. O Allah, shower your mercies on our marhumeen. O Allah, all those who came here tonight to attend this majlis, on each and every step, give thousands and thousands of rewards to all mu'mineen and mu'minat. All those youth, all those children who are sitting in this majlis, O Allah, give them success in this life and the hereafter. O Allah, I ask you to give us tawfiq to go for Hajj, Umrah and Ziyarah. And those who are already for Ziyarat of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, those who are Za'ireen and Zawar, O Allah, protect them from all kind of evils. Make the Imam of our time, Imam al-Hujjah alayhi salam, happy from us. And O Allah, send him as soon as possible. وَإِلَى الْأَرْوَاحِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. Especially for the marhumeen of those who are present here. Those elder people which I met few years ago, they are no more with us. They passed away. For them, bil khusus, rahimallahu man qara'a suratul mubarakatul fatiha ma'as salawat.